Welcome back, everybody. This is Lars, and let's talk some more about the future of mankind in a more and more automated world where we don't really need to work in the traditional sense. And joining me today is my dog because he refused to leave me alone today. He's just sitting here, relaxing, and yeah, but just try to ignore him. He'll just stay there. So, we have been talking about the technological process of this transition. We have talked about the political one. We have not yet touched in on the more cultural and personal part of it, though. The emotional aspect of the thing, and I think that is one of the more important ones because a lot of people identify by their work. They would say that I am a doctor, I am an IT guy, I am. Not I work as, but I am. They actually see that as a part of their person. Their very person, not just like an aspect of how they live their lives. So, what happens when they lose that part of it? When people aren't identified by like being a set of or a set of work, a type of labor, really. So you can see way back in the old times where people were blacksmiths, and of course at that time they didn't change their work. They did not actually change. Basically, if you were a blacksmith, you ended up being a blacksmith, and probably your son would be a blacksmith as well, and that was just how it is, or how it was. Um, and of course, we are a bit more flexible. We aren't that tightly bound to our titles anymore, like our professions. But still, the feeling of being useful and productive in a society, the feeling of self-identifying as a source of good in the society, that you are a force of good, you are doing something productive, you are making the society better by doing what you do. That feeling will more or less uh, be removed basically from the society as a whole, as most people, well, some people of course will just then, instead of having to do a lot of the ordinary, work things, they will do community outreach ish things. Of course, everybody will have proper pay if everything works out like it hopefully will. And well, we'll have to go into that in more detail, I guess. But so in a society where everybody is their basic needs are taken care of, which in most European, at least, societies today, that is the case, and to some extent in the U.S. as well, and a lot of other countries have embraced that idea that no man should ever go hungry or cold. Basically, those two. Uh, so the normal community outreach where you like do soup kitchens or those kind of things wouldn't really be an issue. Of course, there's always things you can do. You can organize like some sort of youth sports events, or you could organize a lot of stuff to kind of feel useful. But you wouldn't have the day-to-day satisfaction of getting back from work and feeling that you've done something. Honestly, I know how that feels, as I've been sick a lot and been away from work for longer periods of time, multiple times. And I, in a lot of cases, do love my work, but that is just how it is. I've kind of resigned to that fate that that is how it's going to be now and then. But one of the problematic things about this, and this is something people who have been outside of work, even if you're just unemployed for a while, the longer you stay unemployed, the harder it is to return to the workforce, because you get demotivated. You often get depressed when you don't work because you feel outside society. Of course, in a society where people have lots more free time, like basically every day is vacation day, you will be able to do a lot of other stuff. You will be able to travel. You will be able to see the world in a whole different way. But a lot of people will probably just end up sitting at home, eating too much snacks, and watching TV, because that's kind of just how they want it. And if you do that all day, every day, if you know somebody who are like living on disability, or have been um, out of work for a long time and did not start taking part of some sort of like say they have like a good hobby, like a hobby that actually makes them produce something, or makes them do something in a regular basis, like just say playing golf, like a retiree that plays golf um, for like a couple of hours every day will live longer than a retiree that just uses the same time to watch TV, of course, because of the physical um, the training, basically the workout of it. It's not that intense, but it is actually a good long walk. A couple hours of walking every day will keep you much healthier. But it also affects the mental part of it, because you could see it in a lot of people who say they worked until they were 65, right? Every day they went to worked a good 8 hour a day, and went back home. And at some point they just quit working because they're retirees. So they're 65 and might look 55 because they are working, they are active, they seem younger in a lot of senses, because they perform like a 55-year-old, and they are still actually, really productive. And at the age of 67, 2 years after retiring, they are 67 or even 70, a lot of them, because they just stopped. They looked at it as a vacation instead of structuring their lives as a basically as a different experience. And I'm very afraid about the changes widespread unemployment will actually lead to, because a lot of people will probably be frustrated. They won't be able to find like a non-working way of kind of expressing themselves, feeling that they produce something. A lot of people would be fine. I know I would be fine, because I'm able to. I can do these YouTube videos if I want to. I could do. There's a lot of stuff I like doing, and I touched on this thing in an earlier video that was about mental health. And one of the most important things you can do during the day is actually doing at least one thing. If you're sick, I'm talking long term, of course, like taking a day off, like totally just lying on the couch because you have a bad case of the flu or a cold or whatever. That is something absolutely different. If you end up being unemployed, let's use that as an example for, say it lasts like a month, 2 months. If you do the same, just lie on the couch, watch TV, you are going to start rotting on the inside. If you're able to motivate yourself to do at least one practical, like useful thing every day, and feel proud about that, instead of feeling guilty for just lying on the couch, you will have a much better chance of staying mentally healthy. And this is a very important thing. Everybody needs to feel productive. Even the most lazy people will benefit from feeling at least somewhat productive, and it doesn't have to be a lot. So getting back to a society where people aren't working, most people feel productive from working. And what happens when they don't? what happens to both their mental state but also their interaction with society. Of course, everybody will have a lot more free time. We could be social. Like, if you remember how the summer vacation from school was when you were like 12, every day was spent just playing with your friends. You were doing stuff all the time. And if you then start looking at how your like vacation time is spent now, a lot of people are just relaxing, just taking it easy. Because of course, you're having a break from work, and you feel that you owe that. This is something I've deserved. Uh, okay, so I'm going basically out on a rant here, but I think this is an important part to realize about if you consider the whole hypothesis of humanity basically being an unnecessary part of the labor structure, or the labor structure will basically be removed at all. There are a lot of economic factors, political factors, stuff like that, but don't forget the personal ones, because that's the one every man and woman will actually have to struggle with every day. And yeah, hopefully people are going to be able to take on hobbies. I guess people who are born into that system and will just take it for granted will be better at adjusting to it and set up their lives in a way that they, you know, feel like they are enjoying themselves. But having like a sense of progress or progression really in your life is important. Feeling that you are bettering yourself somehow is important, and this is something people should think about today as well. Uh, but it's going to be even more important in the days of tomorrow, and yeah, I think everybody should reflect on that for a bit. How it would actually feel being away from work like indefinitely and still being taken care of. Yeah. All right. I'll see you next time.